Hello, my name is William Fleming, and welcome to the reflection of my group's incursion and simulation. Firstly, I'll talk a bit about the experience that we had. Me and two of my group members talked with a simulated CEO, CSO, and CFO of a company branded CT Confectionery. Throughout this meeting, we were able to discuss potential weak points or deal breakers within the policies that CT Confectionery hold within the area of child labour. As the presentation progressed, we discovered that they utilised the use of 14-year-old children, and most of their workers lived in low-income environments with ninth grade education and 7-hour working days. They were also unsure of how much of their workforce were children. Their lack of knowledge about their workforce, accompanied by the lack of child employment officers and no clear safety measures in place to help the kids. We managed to ultimately decide that we will not be partnering with CT Confectionery until better arrangements have been made to help favour the work environment and foster a more regulated and better monitored environment for this child workforce. At the end of the simulation, our group had a lot to discuss about our ultimate decision whether to allow CT Confectionery to partner with the Australian company or not within these ethics and morals that they presented. Our decision came to a conclusive and definitive result when we realised what the impact and influence of our recommendations did have on ourselves and the board that we were interviewing. As we posed questions to the board, the lack of knowledge of the inner workings of their own company shone through and displayed a clear lack of connection between the board and their workforce. With this, our goal slowly changed from how can we make partnering work with this company to how can we potentially partner with them in the future or lead them to a better solution. The decision did come with the respect of the potential cultural context that CT confectionaries live under in the country of Maronia. Ideas such as that it may be acceptable for the country or area where the practice is taking place to hire young workers, or that it may be necessary for some families to operate within these low-income areas for extra income. It may be better than alternatives, such as kids having days without their families or not being at school, and it may be easier to regulate due to families being able to work together with their children. Though this did present themselves as though it was suitable within Maronia to conduct these practices, we also have to think of the Australian standard as well when applying these same conditions. Though within the country of Australia it is possible to hire workers at the age of 15 or under, it must be done so with a permit, and only for a maximum of 3 hours per day with a maximum of 12 per week during school terms. However, the standard presented by CT Confectionery within Maronia, they work 7-hour days with a 30-hour work week. Furthermore, we require a child employment officer, whereas Maronia does not. But the breaches in these ethics and laws could bring large fines and loss of company face, so we do not make the decision to partner with them very harshly. With these clear opposing worldviews, we cannot make our business suitable within Australia with CT Confectionery. A clear-cut situation where ethics on either side of the presentation clashed was with the lack of information CT Confectionery would provide on the treatment and handling of their underage workforce. No information was given on training plans, work environments, work difficulty, or strain that could potentially be placed upon the children within the workplace. It was also a clear breach in ethics within the Australian standard of treatment within workplaces. With no regulation clearly outlined and limited information, we ultimately decided that the deliberate decision to neglect the safety of not only their child staff, but the whole workforce was not the risk of our partnership and company face. To extract as much information as possible, we also took leadership and roles within our certain sections that we believed that would help us gather the most amount of information and to allow us to make a conclusive answer at the end of the presentation. One of our group members would be positive and looking to assist CT Confectionery. This seemed to extract a more positive and beneficial response from our target in the areas that they were most comfortable speaking in, whereas one of our group members would take charge and pick apart small details and inconsistencies to find if they did know if they were deliberately hiding or obstructing any information around their child workforce. Our final group member followed up on potential leads of information and discuss potential avenues for improvement and growth within the company and identifying their willingness to change. With these roles, we all took charge within our sections as opposed to having one clear-cut leader. We all took turns and found our opportune moments to use our areas to our advantage and get as much information as we could. As a result from this experience, I have learned that it may be beneficial to investigate all perspectives on a situation in order to not only make a positive solution or decision, but a potential impact on those asking the questions. Within the context of the presentation, though we ultimately decided not to partner with CT Confectionery, we did leave them with advice and avenues to explore to make strides to better their company's image, save face, and develop their child workforce into a positive and beneficial environment within their country and a potential partner potentially within the future. Furthermore, it has allowed me to broaden my perspective on ethical decision making and how the context of the situation could potentially impact the result of perception or action. Within a low income area such as Moroni, it may be beneficial for kids to work and assist their families within that context, but within a higher stated income country such as Australia, it is not necessary or even frowned upon to incite child labour. Overall, thank you very much for the experience and thank you for watching.